How's it going, everyone? Bombshells coming out of the bankruptcy court with Scam Sam. Unsurprising, right? New testimony just revealed that, get this, FTX co-founder Gary Wang. His testimony is part of the deal that the prosecutors cut with Caroline Ellison, Gary Wang. They both are testifying essentially against SBF, throwing him under the bus. This is a prime example. So basically, Gary Wang said that he was ordered by Scam Sam, okay, to create a secret backdoor between Alameda and FTX in a line of code. Specifically, this backdoor was created to funnel the money from FTX into Alameda Research. This was actually revealed by FTX lawyer Andrew Dietrich. He told the court, Wang created this backdoor by using something very simple, a single line of code amongst the millions and millions of lines of code in the exchange. Of course, the problem is the customers not only don't agree to this, they don't consent to this, they have no clue this is happening to their funds. FTX attorney testifies that the backdoor is essentially just a way for Alamerda to borrow from the customers without the customer's knowledge on the exchange without permission. And apparently the lawyer also tells the court that they know how large this line of credit was. Okay, it's not a small sum, $65 billion. It's a nice chunk of change that you can borrow from customer funds. They also revealed that Scam Sam himself had moved $10 billion between the two companies, Alameda and FTX, with a further $2 billion still unaccounted for, according to the sources. Apparently, the lawyer's testimony corroborates allegations made previously by the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. This is the independent federal agency that regulates derivatives such as futures and swaps. The same federal agency also filed charges against Gary Wang and, of course, Alameda Research's Caroline Ellison. On top of that, the agency, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, the federal agency, accused Wang of creating virtually an unlimited secret line of credit. But this lawyer for FTX, Dietrich, this testimony is basically the first hint of an actual dollar amount given to this line of credit. $65 billion. Nothing to sneeze at. Of course, Wang and Caroline both pleaded guilty to federal charges. They did not plead innocent. They're just cutting deals with the federal regulators. Now, Scam Sam it's getting a little wacko in the head. He can't keep his mouth shut. He posted to Substack basically a whole explanation of how he sees things. So he's got until October for his trial. He just can't keep his mouth shut. He did an interview with a guy from Puck News. Check that out. I made a video about it as well. He did an interview while on house arrest. Now he published a Substack blog where he professed his innocence. So I'll break it down here. I'll provide the link also below if you want to check out the whole thing. It is kind of interesting. There's a lot of self-awareness that is just completely missing. So anyways, I'll give some highlights. He's professing his innocence, of course, right? He says he didn't steal funds, and he certainly didn't stash billions away. Sure. Goes on to say, nearly all of my assets were and are still utilizable to backstop FTX customers. He also talks about separating FTX International with FTX US, and that both of them are not commingled. 30-year-old disgraced former crypto king accused Binance boss Changpeng Zhao, CZ, of waging a lengthy campaign to destroy FTX empire. That's pretty interesting. Here's SBF Day at FTX. Check it out. Check out those wigs. Well, I guess that's his birthday party. So Scam Sam alleges that CZ's fateful tweet on November the 6th actually was an effective and extremely effective months-long PR campaign against FTX. Seems really suspicious. On November 2022, an extreme quick targeted crash precipitated by the CEO of Binance made Alameda insolvent. Boom. So he's proclaiming his innocence. He says, not my fault. It's this guy's fault. CZ's fault. It's Binance's fault. Supposedly, shortly after this tweet, the FTX business collapsed, right? And Binance was dumping its position on FTX in-house digital token FTT. So dumping the token, essentially everyone's going haywire. Customers start to withdraw because they see everything cratering. And in his view, this is what caused the collapse. So the tweet started a domino effect that pushed Bankman Fried's crypto hedge fund Alameda into insolvency. Hard to believe. SBF also provides sort of a kind of an amateur looking breakdown of FTX US balance, not the international, the US balance sheet. And he provides these figures and he says that it's actually in the plus, not in the negative, compared to, of course, FTX International. It's really bizarre that he's doing all this. And he goes on to say FTX International was non-US exchange, run outside the US, regulated outside the US, hence the Bahamas, incorporated outside the US, and took non-US customers' money. Oh, wow. Says US customers were only onboarded to the FTX US exchange, which is still solvent according to his Substack. These are the graphs that he provides. It's the breakdown. And then these are the financials that he provides as well. But again, here's the explanation. November crash. Came CZ's fateful tweet. All on a tweet. This is so bizarre. So amateur. I don't know why his lawyers don't just muzzle him, basically. And then towards the end, he basically says that if FTX had been given a few weeks, that's all it would take apparently for Scam Sam to come up with billions. If it was only given a few weeks to raise the necessary liquidity, he believes it would have been able to make customers substantially whole. Then he says he was going to explain all of these things, all these details to Congress, to the government. And he'd been planning to give his first account of what happened, testimony to the U.S. House Financial Services Committee, December the 13th. But the DOJ moved to arrest him the night before. Coincidence? I don't know. I'll leave that up to you guys. Pretty strange, though. He could have donated a little more money to those politicians. Anyways, at the end, he says he has a lot more to say about why Alameda failed to hedge and what happened with FTX. Oh, you know, he's sorry, guys. He's not worried about criminal liability, apparently, but he's worried about you guys getting the wrong perception of what happened. Anyways, this damning testimony by Gary Wang to the investigators that was revealed by the FTX lawyer now in bankruptcy court basically throws Scam Sam under the bus times 10. I mean, the guy's getting run over, railroaded by his own former friends and former coworkers, because you're looking at 100+ years in jail. That is nothing to sneeze at. So if somehow they're able to prove that these secret lines of code, if somehow they can prove that Scam Sam did this on purpose or proposed this on purpose, I mean, he's done. He's done for. So the day has come, the day that we all have been hoping for. The investigations into Scam Sam's FTX collapse have expanded now, potentially to include, get this, his father has lawyered up, as officials are now, thank God, looking into his ties to the crypto collapse. And curiously enough, both his parents are law professors, so they should know a thing or two about, you know, criminal liability, fraud. It's very suspicious. Furthermore, both of them have canceled classes for 2023. Very interesting. Joseph Bankman, Scam Sam's dad, has reportedly hired Sean Hecker of Kaplan, Hecker and Fink LLP to represent him. That's the lawyer and that is the law firm. So Kaplan, Hecker, Fink LLP. Sean Hecker, on the firm's website, it says he's described as an experienced trial lawyer whose practice focuses on white-collar criminal defense, government and internal investigations, complex civil litigation, and regulatory compliance. This is exactly what the guy needs to defend him against, because, of course, the FTX, commingling customer funds, and there were multiple reports that Scam Sam and his parents, they all purchased hundreds of millions of dollars worth of property using potentially customer funds. So a lot of suspicious stuff with the parents. So finally we get a hint into further investigations of the father and the mother, because apparently the FTX CEO, the current one, John Ray, did tell investigators and lawmakers. And since then, there have been a few reports that emerged that Bankman used his connections within his field to give legal advice to his son on, guess what? How to run FTX. So is the whole family crooked? I don't know. It just certainly seems that way. It just seems a little too suspicious, you know, just a coincidence. Apparently, the FTX CEO confirmed, Ray, he confirmed that he didn't really know if officially Mr. Bankman had employee status, but he certainly received payments. That's what he told the investigators. And the family also received payments. Suspicious, right? And remember, the dad is a tax legal expert, so he regularly attended meetings on Capitol Hill with his son. So was he acting in a legal capacity, not just as a father, but also as his legal counsel, essentially? Of course, reports of the dad lawyering up. This comes after reports of the other FTX founder telling Wang, ordering him to create a back door. But again, this is all testimony from Wang because he cut a deal with the prosecutors. So Wang offered this up. Well, we'll see how well it works for him. We don't know yet what Caroline is going to offer up to the prosecutors so that she can get a linear sentence. Stay tuned if you haven't seen it. Right after I'm done talking, I'll put up the dad's video so you can check that out. Thanks for watching, guys. Smash like if you haven't. Please do subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.
FTX, like, did Sam ask you to come on, or did you realize, okay, like, Sam needs a hand, I'm going to come on and help him? How did that initial interaction go?
Well, I don't know. I think we've always enjoyed working together and thinking together. At least I like to think so. So when I really came on was after Sam asking me for a number of years if I'd be interested in doing it, which was really gratifying. I think any parent would love to hear that. I wanted to make sure that I could do it and be useful. But I think from the start, whenever I was useful, I lent a hand. And it was clear at the start that on things like law, I mean, the company didn't have any lawyers. So I think my utility there was pretty obvious.
What are some of the things, because now you've been, much more active member of FTX in the last maybe year and a half or something. What have you been up to? Like, what have your interests been?
What we're trying to do at FTX is figure out how to give populations that don't have bank accounts and crypto wallets. And so we had a pilot program in South Florida, and we have a big program coming up in Chicago.
Part of the scam.